Well, hello and welcome to the Terry Naturally Product Information Series. My name is Cheryl Myers and I'm the Head of Scientific Affairs and Education for Terry Naturally. And with me today is Paul-Evence Coppee, who is the co-CEO of Botalis, an amazing company that has discovered some revolutionary ways to make ginseng even more powerful and more effective to support health. So without further ado, I want to turn this over to Paul-Evence. Hello, Paul.
Good morning. I'm Paul-Evence. I'm speaking to you here from Brussels. I'm very happy to present to you today what is ginseng. And the ginseng we've been managed to grow successfully with the company Botalis. And so we will start with what is ginseng. So ginseng is a plant that grows in the mountains, in the hills, and there's two places in the world where ginseng is common. You have in Manchuria, which is what is called the Panax ginseng, or sometimes Asian or Korean ginseng. This is the one that we chose to grow here, and I'll explain in a second why. The other ginseng is called Panax quinquefolius. And this is probably more commonly known to you because it's also called American ginseng, and it grows traditionally in the Appalachian Mountains. Now, those two ginsengs are sort of cousins, but the difference between the two is that the Asian ginseng, the Panax ginseng, has more diversity in its ginsenosides. And so some people say that it makes it richer or more powerful ginseng. I'm trying to find how to change the slide. Yes. Ginseng has been used by humans for more than 5,000 years. It certainly was used by cavemen, and all this time it helped humans to face difficult days and to find energy. In the Chinese imperial family and in the whole Beijing nobility community for centuries, it has been known as the royal herb. And it was used extensively in Korea, in China, also in Japan. The word ginseng is very important for these people, and they call it the man root. And some say that it's an herb that was given by the gods to help man. So since 2700 BC, ginseng has been recorded and recognized as one of the most important medicinal plants. Emperors throughout history in Korea and China have used it, have fought to control the regions where it would grow, because it would give them a huge power and would give them a lot of finances to control China and Korea. In the Middle Ages, there started to be some successful plantations, and we'll come back to that. And then Europe has started to know about ginseng with Marco Polo. Later on, a Russian scientist called Carl Anton von Meyer gave the name of Panax and classified in modern botany and classified ginseng. And in the 70s started industrial processing of roots, of ginseng roots, and in particular industrial cultivations, which have been terrible because that was a moment in time when quality of ginseng went down. Alors, in the 70s and the 80s, ginseng was quite popular. In the 70s, it came through to Europe and to the US in a large amount and became quite popular in the 70s. It's the herb that opened the category of what we call today food supplements, herbal food supplements. Ginseng was the father of that. And in the 80s, it started to be used even more, but the quality started to go down. And that was due to the industrial field cultivation in northern China. Since the 2000s, wild ginseng has become an endangered species, and wild ginseng was, of course, better in terms of quality, but now you cannot really find any more of that. So what we developed here at Botalis, and we started to develop this 7 years ago, is a hydroponic system in a vertical farm that could grow ginseng back to its original quality. And we're very proud and happy to say that we've succeeded to do that. Now, just a little focus on names around ginseng, names that you will hear. Raw ginseng is just harvested. Normally, the standard that they use today in China and Korea is 6 years. Because before 6 years, they see that they don't have enough actives. They don't have enough ginsenosides. Then what they do is that they cook it, and cooked ginseng is called red ginseng. And it's just called red because of the look it has after the steam cooking. The type of ginseng that we do here is the Panax ginseng, and we cook it. So we can call it a red ginseng. I mentioned ginsenosides. Ginsenosides are the main family of actives that you will find in ginseng. They are saponins, terpenes, and what we understand with modern science, and we're helped with also Korean scientists, and there's a lot of research going on today in this field. What we see is that there's 2 types of ginsenosides. And the good ones are, unfortunately, the rare ones. And the rare ginsenosides are those that you really want, because only the rare ginsenosides, also here on the slide, also called minor ginsenosides, they have been digested. Normally, our gut microbiota is supposed to do that, but the yield of our gut is very, very low in doing this. So it's better to have a ginseng with a lot of rare or minor ginsenosides because those can be digested. And here the ginseng we grow has the highest rate in these rare ginsenosides. And that's why we see it better functioning. And to come back on something we said previously, remember, there's a lot of industrial cultivation today in China. And that ginseng has no more rare ginsenosides. Only the very old, wild in the forest ginseng would have them, but this has disappeared with the extinction of wild ginseng. Other family of actives, less known, but a lot of scientists are working on it today to understand better. We have at Botalis some projects to understand them better because they seem to be working in synergy with ginsenosides. You have the ginsan. They're acidic polysaccharides, and they have an impact on our immune system. Also, the gintonins. They also support the nervous system and memory and cognition. Now, what is important to know is that most ginsengs you will find on the market are extracts. And in extracts, you don't have the ginsans and the gintonins anymore. The particularity of our ginseng, HRG80, is that we keep the full root. We don't need to do an extraction because of the such good quality we have from the beginning. And so we have what is called the totum, meaning that you have the whole ginseng root, which gives the full spectrum action. What is ginseng? Ginseng is an adaptogen, sometimes called the king of adaptogens. What are adaptogens? They are herbal medicines that help our survivability. And how do they do that? They do that by helping us to adapt to stress. So to simplify, I would say that somebody that is too stressed, that has too much stress, the adaptogen will lower his stress in a normal range. And if you don't have enough stress, then meaning, for example, you're too weak, ginseng will give you the energy to get back in balance. A lot of research has been done on ginseng, and hospital tests, clinical studies, bibliography, and a lot of health benefits have been documented and proved for panic ginseng. The main ones here are stamina and endurance. Ginseng helps with mental and physical energy. When I take ginseng personally, I don't have any fatigue in the afternoon at work. Second is focus and concentration. Ginseng helps with mindful focus and a strong concentration. It's linked to this endurance, but it's an endurance for the mind. And we have here new proprietary results showing and documenting and proving the better focus and concentration. Finally, male sexual health. Ginseng has been known for that traditionally in China for a long time, and it helps by the endurance and the stamina. It also helps the libido and the satisfaction of the whole body. Daily dosage. So HRG80, we recommend between 100 and 400 milligrams per day. Usually, what we see is best is to start at the beginning of the cure with a high dose, or maybe between 200 and 400 milligrams. And then with time, you can lower the dose because the cure effect is starting. After the cure, it's always good to do a wash, a little break, before starting again another cure. And I see stimulating effect. Ginseng should be taken, let's say, before the end of the afternoon. But ginseng is very useful if you have a long evening or a dinner outside, or even if you go at a party. And we see in the test that actually ginseng helps better sleep. So it's not a stimulant like caffeine. It's very different. You have to try it to see it. But it's an anti-fatigue that helps you sleep better. Alors, on the process of how we grow it here. Alors, what we see today, and this is how when I co-founded Botalis in 2011, we saw trends in the market. The first trend we saw is a growing demand for natural solutions. We see, especially here in Europe too, we see a lot of customers who want to be healed by herbs, and they want more well-being. They want to have less stress. They want to have a better life. And they're looking at the past to find back the secrets that we always had. Also, we see a lot of unethical behavior in industries, and food supplement is a very complicated industry because the feedstocks are limited, quality is difficult to control, and when cultivation is possible, there is a lot of usage of pesticides and fungicides. One of the reasons that we started with growing ginseng was because of the quality problems from the Chinese sourcing. And our clients here in Europe were telling us that we need a trustworthy source of ginseng. Now, what we see is that by providing a stable quality with no heavy metals, no any chemicals, no pesticides, we are able to give to the customers a better product. What I have to say that I'm proudest of HRG80 is that we're setting a new level in terms of the quality that a medicinal plant can have. We're currently finalizing what is called the FSSC 22000 certification. It's linked to ISO 22000, which maybe people have heard of, but here it's specific for foods. And we're very proud because we're going to be the first company in the world with this level of certification for plant growth, for plant cultivation. And we're really proud of this because we think it sets a new quality level for medicinal plants. So of course, absolutely pure, and this is by design, because in our growth process, we do not use any of these products. So it's easy for us to guarantee that they're not inside. Very bioactive, and we'll talk about that, I think, in the next slides. And this is due to the rare ginsenosides content, which have a real effect because they really get into your blood. Ethical production, I could speak a very long time about this. Two things to know about ginseng when it's cultivated in China. The first is that you need to remove forest land to have a fresh land to have a ginseng culture. So you can imagine, and you can see on satellite pictures, you can see that the forest is moving back in North China because of the ginseng fields. And once the cultivation is finished, after 6 or 7 years, and even without a good quality product, the fields cannot be used for 20 to 30 years because there has been so much pesticides put on it. And with our system, with 1 hectare of vertical farm, we save about 50 hectares of land. Voilà, it's fully controlled, certified, all the main certifications, and we also respect the good agricultural and collection practices. But as I said at the beginning, we're even going beyond that. So Botalis, we're still a young company, founded in 2011. Our mission is that we grow with vertical farms. We grow medicinal and rare plants, and we bring them to their best quality, even if it takes time, even if it's difficult at the beginning. But we have some patience, and we want to have the best products available today. Technology we developed is unique in the world. It's a mix between vertical farming and hydroponics. And on top of that, we work in a sterile environment, meaning we work in clean rooms. So the level of cleanliness inside the production is better than in a surgical hospital. It's a pharmaceutical-like quality, but pharmaceutical in terms of the cleanness, of course. How we do? First, we have the seeds. Then we grow the plantlets. And as you see on the picture, we grow them in water. And we ensure a very rich nutrient medium inside the water. Then once the plantlets grow, we actually duplicate them. So we cut them and we replicate them again and again. And we can do that for a number of times. And at the end, we harvest the roots. After that, we cook it, we dry it, and we grind it. And that is all we do to keep the product as pure as possible. Now, this is very technical, but this is what we call an HPLC analysis. HPLC is basically a chromatography, and the HPLC gives us eyes to see what's inside the ginseng, and in particular to measure the ginsenosides. You remember the major and minor ginsenosides? The minor are the rare ones. And thanks here to HPLC, we're able to measure what's really inside HRG80. As you can see on the picture, you see all the yellow, orange, brown color are the rare ginsenosides. And the blue and the greens are the majors. But remember, the majors are not digestible or very difficult. On the right of the slide, it's the result of one of the first user studies that we did. And so we gave HRG80 to 240 patients. And some of the people got HRG80, some of them got a placebo, and some of them got one of the main ginseng products available here in Europe. And we have a really important conclusion of that, is that HRG80 is clearly better than placebo and the market leader on satisfaction, on energy, on mood stability, on sleep, on learning capacity. The new clinical study that we have just finished a few weeks ago is also going in the same direction and is actually so good that we have a possibility to put patents on it. And so we're very excited about that. In summary of this slide, the thing to remember is that HRG80 has 7 times more rare ginsenosides than the average good quality ginseng that you can find. Voila, here again, the proportion of classic ginsenosides versus rare. Normally, all the ginseng you will find on the market today will only talk about the classic ginsenosides. That actually is not a good enough information for the customers, because only giving classic ginsenosides level does not indicate how good the ginseng is. You need to have the indication of the rare ginsenosides, also called sometimes the minor ginsenosides or the noble ginsenosides. HRG80 is clearly a superior ginseng. It on every action that we measured in this test that you see here on the graph, we have a clear, significant difference with the placebo and on the market leader that we tested. And we've worked with a lot of scientists, medical doctors, and they agree that the reason for the better effect is more rare ginsenosides and the totem effect, because it's not an extract. So always beware that if you see ginseng extract on another box, it is of an inferior quality because it is not totem. Voilà, alors we've very proudly started to contribute to associations, and in the US we chose to support the American Botanical Council, in the Adopt-a-Nerve program. And this is important to us because it shows our commitment to this plant, and we're going now in the coming years to explore more and more to understand Panax ginseng intimately. We're going to continue clinical trials. We're going to continue to improve the product as we can, and we really want to have a commitment for botanics in the long term. Voilà. Alors, we started to sell our HRG80 less than 1 year ago in Europe, and it's a big success already here in Belgium and in France. And I'm very, very happy to be partnering with Terry Naturally to launch HRG80 in the US. Maybe Cheryl, you want to take over?
Thank you so much, Paul-Evence. I have a couple of quick questions. What a fascinating presentation. I really enjoyed learning more about the ginsenosides, and I really, really appreciate the fact that you can now grow ginseng in a very clean environment without damaging the earth, without worrying about pesticides and fungicides that are commonly used in land-cultivated or farmed ginseng. I think that this is so groundbreaking on so many different levels. But one of the questions I wanted to ask is when you were talking about wild ginseng and how valuable that had been, what is the equivalent for HRG80? I mean, how long would this be, like a 5-year-old or a 10-year-old wild ginseng? What's the equivalent?
Alors, we have some documentation about old wild ginseng, and our goal was to make it as close as possible as 30-year-old ginseng, and we reached that.
That is amazing. That is absolutely amazing. Well, as you mentioned, we are indeed working with Botalis for creation of products. These are the 2 new Terry Naturally products that each feature this amazing HRG80 Red Ginseng. We have Red Ginseng Energy, which is 7 times stronger because 7 times more of the rare noble ginsenosides, much better absorbed than classic ginsenosides. Who doesn't need some more energy, some more ability to resist stress, to be able to perform both mentally and physically? Red Ginseng Energy is for both men and women. There are many, many published clinical studies showing that ginseng has enormous benefits for women as well. Then we have a blended product that features HRG80 Red Ginseng, plus a clinically studied blend of apple and grape polyphenols and saffron to help enhance male sexual activity and performance. Again, focusing on energy and stamina, libido, mood, and also on healthy circulation, whole body circulation. We've also learned today something that I did not know, the difference between an extract, which loses some of the valuable componentry of the root, versus using the entire root in total in order to get the full spectrum of benefits. So I thank you very much for this illuminating information. We have been so proud to have you as our guest today. I hope you'll join us again in the future for more informational presentations. And folks, if you are interested in these products, feel free to visit us at europharmausa.com for more information. Thank you so much, Paul-Evence, and thank you everybody for taking time out of your busy day to learn more about HRG80 Red Ginseng. Bye-bye.
Thank you.